Unemployment falls, Corbyn and May clash, and Jean-Claude Juncker doesn't like us very much. I'm Max, and welcome to the EB podcast. So, we've got a lot to get to, but I'm going to start off with the pay cap. So the government announced today that they are going to give the police a 2% rise. That's a 1% pay increase and a 1% bonus as well on top of their pay. Unite, which is the biggest union group, they had their trade union conference yesterday. That finished today. They were talking about how other staff they feel deserve a pay rise as well, other government employed staff. But there is a big issue here, because something that I certainly want to think about and we need to be worried about as a sort of right-wing economic government is how will it be paid for? Because if we increase borrowing, of course we could do that, but it is a very big Labour policy. A lot of the more sort of right-wing economic people or supporters of the Conservative Party, particularly donors, won't be very happy with that if we do that. The government I haven't seen a lot about how the government expects to pay for it. It seems that they just sort of caved into the idea of having a pay cut in order to gain the support of the unions and try and prevent another strike without looking at what they could do. It's also unclear who will get what. Will everyone get the same 2% pay rise as the police? Or will police get 2%, doctors get 3%, I don't know, tube staff get something else, and then this will carry on and on and on. It will create a bigger argument, and the government does need to be careful here because it will create another problem. There were some good announcements from the government though today. Unemployment was down again. It's down to 4.3% now. There are 75,000 jobs added since last time we measured employment. This is good news for the government in the face of Brexit. We need as much good news as we can get. There's also been £25 million relief funding for hurricane affected areas in the US and British Virgin Islands. There's of course the announcement today from Theresa May during PMQs where she clashed with Corbyn. Corbyn obviously questioned her about public sector pay, and she came back saying that police officers since 2010 are £9,000 a year better off. This is due to not just their pay rises, that hasn't been incredible, but this is due to basic pay, progression pay and personal tax allowance, which is quite good. I think the Conservatives need to try and use these sorts of arguments more and bring into context instead of when Labour attack them on just figures, using just circumstances. Parties need to bring in, particularly the Conservative Party, need to bring in context to show them that they're wrong rather than accept it. Because if you show the public that you're right and the other side are wrong, they tend to support you. And Theresa May needs as much support as she can get right now. Of course, the government also won the vote on the EU exit bill. This is good. This is what I hoped for. This was on Tuesday night. I hoped it would go to a second reading because it shows the EU that we are serious about Brexit and we are serious about working together, being bipartisan, just in getting it started, which is great. The second reading will be, I believe, next week. This did, of course, mean that in a few cases there were Labour MPs which voted the other way, including Dennis Skinner. He's a Labour MP. I've forgotten for which constituency. But he got in trouble with a few Labour supporters, particularly those online, because he voted to leave. He voted for the European Union repeal bill on Tuesday night, and it got him in trouble. People started calling him a traitor to his party because he voted against Labour. But if you actually look at what he was doing here, not only was he helping with the Brexit process, I'm sure he has amendments that he'd like to make to the bill, but first of all, he's going to wait until the second reading, which I thought was sensible, and secondly, his constituency voted to leave. So, first of all, he's got himself to think about getting elected in, hopefully, the next 5 years, and also being a true constituent, being a true MP. What you need to do is look at what your constituents are saying, what they're telling you to do, what they put you in power to do, which is, be their voice in our government, and that's what he did. So I think we do need a bit more bipartisan politics, especially in the face of Brexit. Once that is gone in 2019, once that is dealt with, then of course we can get on with going back to being traditional members of parties. A bit more other news now. The Apple iPhone X or iPhone 10. I'm not sure where the iPhone 9 went. That didn't come out. But there is a £1,000 price tag on it. This could lead to lower sales as among competition from Android phones as well. There were, of course, the features leaked during the week, but I'm sure I haven't seen personally. I wasn't keeping up on it that much. Doesn't interest me too much, but I'm sure there was some sort of lines of some sad people in New York somewhere, not realising that you can just go a few days after and get it for the same price without a queue. A bit of Brexit now. Jean-Claude Juncker, the EU Commission President, said the UK will soon regret leaving the EU. I tweeted at this saying we'll see, because personally I have a huge belief in the UK. I'm a very patriotic guy, and that doesn't mean that I think anyone else that isn't from the UK is bad. I personally believe that being patriotic, especially in this situation, is a case of believing that in any bad situation, any good or bad situation, I have a faith in the UK to come out on top. So we will see about this, because I have that belief in the UK that I said before. Due to our strong economy, I didn't announce, the government announced, and I said on the show the other day that we are being treated or seen as the world's financial centre, ahead of the US. Unemployment is falling, consumer spending is up. We have the chance to form new trade deals after Brexit with China and the US and places like Australia. We have access to the WTO, that's the World Trade Organization. We can do free trade deals through there. We can get communications going. We can bring in new imports and export to new places that we couldn't do as easily before. We will also hopefully have access, hopefully not to the single market, because that will most likely lead to some other things, concessions that we're going to have to make to the EU that we don't really want to make economically, but some sort of single market or low tariff situation with the EU. Moving on, we also have Nick Clegg. He announced today that his son unfortunately has been fighting blood cancer, but he won. He was given the all clear. This is great news, even though Nick Clegg isn't a favourite politician of mine, and he's not many favourites of students due to his mess up of the student debt situation and student fee situation when he was in power as Deputy Prime Minister. It's great news. No one should have to go through this, and no one's family should have to either. Economic and business news now. Inflation is up 2.9%. That's the government figure. Of course, that will be big hot topic in the Houses of Parliament this week, I'm sure. This is due to clothes and oil, I believe, increasing in price, or petrol, rather. This could lead to an interest rate rise from the Bank of England, because the economics of it is, if you put the interest rates up, there is more incentive for people to save. There's also less incentive for them to borrow and spend, because then that will be more expensive, put them at more of a risk. So of course we need to be aware of that in the future to make sure that we aren't caught out by those rate rises. So that's all for me today. I'll be back tomorrow with a bit more of Prime Minister's, what she's been up to. I'll be a bit more of Parliament, some more business, some more rate rises, some more EU talk, some more Brexit, and everything else that goes along in this crazy world we live in. So, I'm Max, and thank you for watching the EB podcast.